the financial strategy. What do you mean by financial strategy? A tracking stock is nothing but it is a type of common stock. They are forced, the suppliers are forced to compete with the business firms. Then operating strategy, it says how and where the product has to be manufactured. Hi and a warm welcome to all dear students. Hi, George William, Commerce Faculty, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. Dear students, in the last session I had explained to you about the functional strategies. In that I explained to you various other strategies, that is marketing strategies, distribution strategies, right? All this. Let us go to the today's session. That is session 11. In today's session 11 of Unit 1, this is the last session or the end of this particular topic, or we say the end of this particular unit. So in this, we are going to understand the various other different types of strategies under functional strategies. So first we'll take up, that is the third one, is the financial strategy. What do you mean by financial strategy? This financial strategy is nothing that is very important. It finds out, or it it examines the financial implications. What are the financial implications of the corporate and the business level strategies? So this will find out and help you out, or help the company to find out what are the implications, what are the effects of the corporate and business level strategies, options, and easily it identifies. Not only that, it identifies the best financial course of action, which is the best financial course of action for undergoing this various strategies under functional strategies. That is for corporate level as well as for the business level. So this particular finance strategy usually tries to maximize the financial strategies, right, adopted by various companies or the business units. Now this functional strategies may be like in order to achieve the desired debt to equity. So in order to achieve the debt to equity ratio, as well as to rely on long-term financing, that is internal long-term financing, how you are going to create a internal long-term financing, that is through via cash flows, that is by generating lot of inflows, that is equity financing is preferred for related diversification, as well as the debt financing, which are taking a debt from outsiders, from financial institutions, or unrelated diversifications from various other sources which you are pulling the finance. Now this leveraged buyout, LOB, we say. LOB is what? LOB is a company where is acquiring in a transaction. A company which is acquired in a transaction, financial transaction, which is namely financed by funds. So this particular transaction which has been acquired by a company, that is LOB, it is financed by the funds which has been arranged from the third party. So this LOB is a transaction where they are going to get the funds or acquire the funds, that is by arranging the funds through the third party, or getting the funds from third party. It may be such as banks or the financial institutions. So that we call it as the leveraged buyout, that is LOB. Now here this firm declines because here because of inflated expectations, because lot of inflation expectations are there. Due to that, there is a decline in the firm, and utilization of all the stock, by utilizing all the resources or the stock of finance, by utilizing it, then you come to an end of that particular firm, or management burnout and lack of strategic management. So these are the various reasons why the firm declines. The firm declines because of inflated expectation, right? Then utilization of all the resources which you have, the finance resource. Then management burnout, there is nothing in the hands of management, they cannot do anything. And finally, lack of strategic management, where the management is not having that capability or capacity to form the strategies in order to pull out the resources or the finance. So management of dividends to shareholders. Management, it says in this condition, management of dividends to shareholders has to be managed properly. It should be given. Establishing a tracking slot. So while forming or establishing a tracking slot, that has been followed by big companies or big large established corporations, right? And also it says tracking stock is a type of a common stock tied to one portion of the corporation business. So what is tracking stock. A tracking stock is nothing but it is a type of common stock which has been tied to another one portion, which has been tied to one portion of a corporation business, right? And this actually it says an equity interest in the partner's company. It is an equity interest of that particular partner's company. That is, example, you can see AT&T. Now coming to the next strategy, that is research and development strategy. This R&D strategy, it says it develops with the products. Research and developments, you need to do the research and develop a product. So R&D strategy, this strategy is mainly dealing with the products. So they need to do the research work as well as how to develop a product and process innovation and improvements. So they need to undergo through various process of research and development in order to find out new things and bring improvement in the research and development of a product. And this particular R&D strategy, it is it deals with appropriate mix of different types of R&Ds. So this R&D deals with, or it is mixing together with other different types of research and development which takes place. That is, it may be the basic product or the process, basic product and process. And the question here, it says with the question of how the new technology should be accessed. How we are going to get the new technology, how we are going to acquire the new technology in order to manufacture a product or to find out what are the basic things about the product as well as which are the various process which the product has to undergo. So by internal development, external acquisition or through strategic alliance. So here the question arises in R&D, how the new technology should be accessed. Which are the ways where you can access to the new technologies? That is, whether by internal development or by external acquisition or purchasing from outside or through any other strategic alliances with other companies. So this is a question which arises under this R&D development, research and development strategies. Now there are some choices for this R&D. It says technological followership in which one intimates the products of the competitors. So here the choices for R&D, it says technological fellowship in which one initiates the products of the competitors. They will initiate the products of the competitors. Example, Dean Food Products, right? Or Dean Food Company. Now here the technology leadership also is one of the important choices for the R&D, where it says one pioneers and innovation, in which one pioneers and innovation. An example given for that is Nick Inc. Now coming to the next one is operation strategies. What is operation strategy? That is which you are putting into action. Determines how and where a product service is to be manufactured. So operation strategy is a strategy where you are saying how and where a product or the service is to be manufactured. And the level of vertical integration in the production process. So the level of vertical integration. So whether you have to see that the production should be increasing. It should not go horizontal. It should be in the vertical form. The production should go up and it should rise. As well as the process of deployment of physical resources, and also which are the process we are going to undertake in order to deploy the physical resources which is required for the manufacturing of that particular product. So all these are the three important aspects on part of operation strategies. That is how and where a product service is being manufactured. Secondly, the level of vertical integration in the production part. And thirdly, the process of deployment of physical resources. What are the various processes you undergo or you take in order to deploy or to arrange all the physical resources which is used for the production. Now this should be dealt with optimum level of technology. So under this operational strategy, they see that that particular strategy should deal with optimum means maximum. It is maxed. We say maximum level of technology. Using maximum level of technology, the firm should use in its operation process. So in the operation process, the organization has to deal with optimum level of technology, using the maximum level of technology in order to produce the products and where that particular products should be in a vertical level of production. And advanced managing technology, that is AMT, advances manufacturing technology, it is a revolutionized operations worldwide. Nowadays, if you see, you can find this kind of technology being used, that is advanced manufacturing technology AMT, and that is a revolution on part of, we say, the technologies operations, because it has been used worldwide and it should continue to have a major impact. When you use this particular advanced manufacturing technology, and it should continue to have a major impact, the result should be something different as corporations tries to integrate diverse business strategies, because here the business activities are totally diverse. So they want to bring everyone together, that is to integrate all the business activities using the computer integrated designs and manufacturing. So here they are going to integrate all the business activities or manufacturing activities, right, say in the organizations or corporations by using the computer integrated designs as well as manufacturing, CAD and CAM. These are the two important computer integration designs which has been followed for the production as well as other technology which is being used, the modern technology. So manufacturing strategy is a firm which has been affected by product life cycle. So if you see manufacturing strategy, that is the strategy of the firm which has been affected by the product life cycle. Because of product life cycle, the strategy of manufacturing will be affected. So here the firm can opt for either production system, that is shop job operations and flexible manufacturing systems. What is shop job operations? Which is the strategy which has been used in this manufacturing strategy, because the firm has been affected by the product life cycle. So I told in the product life cycle we have the products development, then introduction stage, then we have growth stage, maturity stage, and finally it is a decline stage. So the job shop operations through connected line batch flows. So job shop operation means it has been connected line which is having a batch flow, or flexible manufacturing system and dedicated transfer lines. So these two are the important strategies which has been followed by the manufacturing strategies in order to see that the product life cycle where it will be affected, or in order to manufacture the products and increase the production also. And continuous improvement strategies. So there should be a continuous improvement strategies has to be followed in order to produce and improve the products development of a product. Then mass customization and modular product designs. So these are various strategies which comes under manufacturing strategies. Now coming to the purchasing strategy, it says it deals with obtaining the raw materials. Purchasing means what you are purchasing. What a manufacturer or producer purchases, he is purchasing the raw materials. So it deals with obtaining the raw materials. Purchasing strategies deals with the purchasing of raw materials, or it may be the components or the parts, or it may be this, and the suppliers need to be performed the operation functions. So the basic choices, if you see here under this purchasing strategy, that is multiple sourcing. What is this multiple sourcing? Multiple means several, many. So a superior is superior to other purchasing approaches, because this kind of multiple sourcing is a very, very superior one. It is a very superior and a very good outsourcing, because it is adopted in this purchasing approaches. It forces suppliers to compete for the business of an important buyer. So here under this multiple sourcing, the suppliers are forced to compete for the firm's business of the firm. So here they are forced, the suppliers are forced to compete with the business firms, that is which an important buyer, who is an important buyer. For them they need to first supply the raw materials, thus reducing purchasing cost. And how you are going to give them the raw materials when they purchase the raw materials from you? The suppliers to see that those buyers who are having a lot of competition, who are facing a very good competition and market share, for them you need to see that the purchasing cost should be less. B, if one supplier could not deliver, if one of the suppliers is not able to deliver the raw materials or the parts or the materials to the buyer, then another usually could, just guaranteeing that particular products or what you say, and supply would always be and when needed. So first thing is lowering the cost. lowering the cost for the buyer who is in a good competition or who is in a good level. Second is, if one supplier is not able to deliver the products, the raw materials, then the other one can see that or guarantee that he is going to supply the products, and they should be a continuous one, and they should go hand in hand, and supply should not stop. Second is sole outsourcing, sole sourcing. It means this particular thing, that is sole sourcing, it relies on only one supplier for a particular part. So under this, sole means single person. So here they are going to rely on only one supplier for only one particular part or a material, a raw material. So it is only manageable the way to obtain high superior quality. Why they are maintaining or managing this kind of sole sourcing? Because this is the way where they can get a very high superior quality of that is the raw materials or the parts or the components. Then it can simplify the purchasing company's production process by using J&T rather than keeping inventories. So this particular sole sourcing, it is very much important because it can simplify, it can be made simplify, that is the purchasing company's production, in order to see that a process by using this JIT rather than keeping inventories. Instead of keeping inventories, you can just buy the raw materials or the components whenever is required, instead of keeping large stock or inventories in your shops or in your organizations. Then it reduces transaction cost and builds quality by having purchase and supplier work together as partners rather than advisors. So this particular concept, that is the strategy, it helps to reduce the transaction cost. It reduces the transaction costs. Also, it builds the quality by having having the purchaser and supplier together, working together as a working partners like, and rather than as an advisories. Instead of advising, they can work together as an partners, and thereby they can see they reduce the transaction cost and maintain the quality of the products as well as the buyers and suppliers. Parallel sourcing. Here under this, two suppliers are of the same suppliers. Two suppliers are the sole suppliers. So parallel sourcing means here two suppliers will be there and they are the sole suppliers of different parts. So under parallel sourcing, parallel means it goes hand in hand like a railway track. So both the tracks will be the same, it goes together. So it is like this. So both the tracks are going together. So this is called parallel. So this parallel sourcing means two suppliers who are going in parallel. They are the sole suppliers. They are the single suppliers of different products or the parts. But they are also backup suppliers. They are also the backup suppliers for each other parts. So they are also backing up. They are also called as backup suppliers for supplying each other's products or the parts. If one vendor cannot supply all of its parts on time, for example, if A is a vendor and is not able to supply all the parts on his own on that particular given time, then the other vendor would be able to make up the differences. In that case, the other person can make up the differences. Now, this person A and this is B, they are going in both in parallel and they are both sole traders. The sole partners or suppliers. If A is not able to supply on time, then B is ready to supply it. So there should not be any kind of disturbance in supplying. Now next we have the logistic strategy. Under this strategy deals with the flow of products into and out of manufacturing process. So logistic strategy is a strategy which has been followed by the companies, and that deals with the flow of products, that is the flow of products from that is inside as well as outside of the manufacturing process. So three trends are evident, namely centralization, second is outsourcing, and we have use of internet. Let us see one by one. What is centralization? It refers to the centralized logistic groups, usually contains the specialist or the expertise in different transportation modes such as rail or trucking. So centralization means it refers to centralized logistic groups. So they are centralized logistic groups. Usually they will be containing specialists. So that particular centralization or centralized logistic groups, they contain specialists in that logistics section with expertise, and they will be expertise in that particular field of what you call logistic in different transportation modes. So they will be in different various modes of transportation such as rail or through trucking. Or second one is outsourcing. Logistic reduces cost and improves the delivery time. So outsourcing here, logistic reduces the cost of that particular products or the goods, as well as it improves the delivery time. Then thirdly, use of internet. It will simplify the logistical systems and it creates an online system. So here, this will simplify the logistical system. When you use the internet, through internet, it simplifies the logistical system. Also, it creates an online system for its retailers as well as to the suppliers. Right? So less chance of loose cases to be lost in delivery, and paperwork doesn't have to be done. So here when you use the internet, it will help the suppliers and the retailers so that they will not be in a trouble, or they will not be put in trouble. That is, no goods or the delivery will be lost, as well as the paperwork will not be there because you are using of technology, that is the using of internet. HRM strategy. This strategy is very much important because it issues whether the company or business unit should try to have or hire large number of low skilled employees who receives very low pay or perform repetitive jobs and most likely quit after short time. So this HRM strategy, it will tell you or address the issues which are related to whether the company or the business unit should try to hire a large number of low skilled employees. Why? Because who will receive only low pay, because they are low skilled employees, automatically they will be getting low salary or the incentives or the pays. Then they will be performing the same repeated work or the task, right, jobs, and most likely they will be quitting after a short period of time. So here example, McDonald's, if you see, they are hiring skilled employees who receive relatively high pay and cross-trained who participates in self-management teamwork. So these people in McDonald's, if you see, they are hiring skilled employees, very skilled employees. When they are skilled enough, the salary also will be very high, the pay is very high, and they are cross-trained, they are being trained well in order to participate in the self-management teamwork. Example is multinational companies. Now business firms are experimenting the different kinds of categories of workers. So here in this particular HRM strategy, we say the business firms or the companies, they are experimenting with different categories of workers, like part-time workers they are experimenting on, they are experimenting on temporary workers, they are experimenting on leasing of employees, diverse workforce, then constitutes the competitive advantage. Now companies with a high degree, the company which is having a very high degree of racial diversity, they follow this growth strategy, that is in order to see higher productivity rather than others. They want to have more high quality superior goods, and also the production should also be very high, so that they follow the growth strategy, that is to tend or to have a higher production than any other company. And lastly, we come to the information system strategy, that is IS. So here the companies or the corporation are tuning to IS strategies. So many of the companies, or nowadays we see all the companies and organizations, they are using this particular IS strategies, that is to provide business units with competitive advantage. Why they follow this, or why they use this information technology? Because in order to see that they are with competitive advantage, get benefit of the competitive advantage. The IS strategies are using of sophisticated internet for the use of employees, where the project team members living in one country can pass their work to team members another country in which their work day is just beginning. So why they use this kind of technology? That is, they use this kind of IS technology strategy in order to see that the sophisticated internet use is more helpful, and the use of employees where the project work will be given to the team members who are living in one country, in another country, right? And they can pass on that particular work which has been assigned to them. They can finish the work and to the team members to another country where they have to submit it, right? In which what happens, the work day is just a beginning. And this ISA is more form close relationship with both the customers as well as the suppliers. So this IS system which is working on the sophisticated internet services, so they form a very close relationship between both the suppliers as well as the customers. And also it enables, this IS enables the workers to have the online communication, right, with the co-workers. So this IS system will enable the workers or the employees to have a communication, that is through online communication with the co-workers as well as who are residing in other countries and who are using this particular IS system and with different language. So students, these are the topics of this session, and we have come to the end of this particular unit, the first unit, right? So I think you understood all the topics which are covered to you today. So just let me give the glance again, the highlights of this today's session. So in today's session, first we saw the third important strategy known as financial strategy. So it examines the financial implications of corporate and business level strategies and options and identifies the best financial course of action. We have the leveraged buyout LOB, so whereby the finance are being taken from the third party such as banks and financial institutions. Then research and development strategy, it deals with products and process innovation and improvement of the products. So under this there are choices like technology leadership, then technological followership. Then operation strategy, it says how and where the product has to be manufactured and the level of vertical integration as well as in the production, and process of deployment of physical resources. And this deals with the maximum level of technology and using its operation in process. So manufacturing strategy is being affected by products life cycle. Under this, they follow this kind of production system, that is job shop operations to connected line batch flow or flexible manufacturing systems, that is dedicated transfer lines. Purchasing strategy, it deals with obtaining the raw materials, parts and suppliers needs to perform the various activities, operations, functions. So under this, choices are there for the purchasing choices such as multiple sourcing. Then we have sourcing, parallel sourcing, and next is logistical strategy. This is strategy which deals with the flow of products into and out of the manufacturing process, right? Under this we have centralization, outsourcing, use of internet. Next, coming to the HRM strategy, it says it addresses the issue whether the company or the business unit should try to have a low number of skilled workers with low pay as well as doing repetitive jobs and most likely to quit, or sometimes hire skilled employees who receive highly paid as well as cross-trained in order to participate in the management teamwork. And also the business firms, they will be experimenting on different categories of workers such as part-time workers, temporary workers, then leasing of employee diverse workforce, which constitutes the competitive advantage. And information system strategy, it is the IS strategy provides the business units with competitive advantage. So they can use this sophisticated internet facilities where the employees will be given a project and that project team members will be living in another country and they can pass on the work to their team members who are in the another country, and in which the day is just a beginning for them. Then this is very important and close relationship with both the customers and suppliers, this IS strategy. And also it enables the workers to have the online communication between the co-workers in other country and whose language will be different. So these are the various topics, students. So hope I understood all the topics I covered to you today's session and in this particular unit also. So please go through the highlights what I explained to you. Just recall the memory and you'll be able to access all the points I explained to you. So which is a very, very important part of examination. So see you in the next session, and I'll be taking up the next unit and I'll come up with the various different topics under the next unit in the next session. Until then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you, students.